Allow me to tell you about a time when the difference of personality between just two individuals caused dramatic consequences for an entire organization. Tyler was riding high after a major corporate shakeup left him in his dream role of regional vice president. Finally, the time had come to really focus on the things that mattered: efficiency, effectivity, and really hitting those KPIs. He knew he could conquer any challenge that the organization could throw at him, and his first challenge was a man named Sean. Tyler had worked for Sean before. He was an older gentleman who'd been part of the organization since before Tyler was even born. And he did things in a slow and plodding way that drove Tyler crazy. He would spend 15 minutes every day just chatting with each of his 7 direct leads, and an hour every week to go over their KPIs. When Tyler had to report to his supervisor, he was always late because Sean's KPIs took so long to generate that he wouldn't be able to produce them until the end of the day. This became a real problem, and so Tyler went to the CEO and asked him to do something about it. The CEO put out an email that said that daily one-on-ones were to be removed entirely, and weekly one-on-ones to be reduced to just 15 minutes in length. When he read this, Sean said, "No, I've been doing this my entire career. I'm not going to change now. The president is wrong." And so, he didn't change. He didn't do anything different. And this became a real thorn in Tyler's side, as Sean's team was the least productive. When he tried to confront Sean on it, Sean told him, "You don't understand the kind of stuff we're dealing with. We're dealing with some major dilemmas here." And he said, "Are they interpersonal dilemmas?" He said, "Yes." He said, "Do they reflect on the KPIs?" He said, "Of course not." And he said, "Well, in that case, don't focus on them. They don't matter." But Sean continued to focus on them anyway. And after a while, when his work style became impossible for Tyler to work with, Tyler decided it was finally time to let Sean embrace his well-deserved retirement. As they were cleaning out Sean's desk, Sean said to him, the way old people do, "You know, Sonny, I'm not disappointed in you. I'm not even upset. But you opened up for yourself a fine kettle of fish here. There's going to be challenges you're going to have to face that I don't think you're qualified for." Talking about what in the world could he be talking about? Of course I'm qualified. I'm the regional vice president. I get the best numbers in the organization, at least I did until I was put over you. But there's no possible way that I could fail. And so, Sean embraced his retirement, and Tyler stepped in to handle Sean's role until a replacement could be met. They never got the chance. You see, Sean's team had been sitting on a volatile powder keg of explosive moral, legal, and ethical documents that they were going through at a slow and careful pace, that Sean's style of listening to the concerns of his very stressed employees who knew their entire future, possibly their legal future, depended on these documents. They could end up in jail. And after several weeks, a few of Sean's former direct leads up and quit. Without the manpower that they needed, Tyler's team foundered, and eventually these legal documents came to the fore. Eventually the company went bankrupt in legal battles, and Tyler, he lost his job. Now, the question is, who is right and who is wrong in this situation? It may surprise you based off the way that I've shared this information, that I will tell you the answer is no one. No one was right or wrong. They were just different. They had different personalities. Tyler was focused on efficiency, effectivity, and getting those numbers. Sean was focused on the people, the needs of his stressed out employees. He wanted to hear their problems at home and at work. Could Tyler have cared a little bit more about the people? Could he have focused a bit more on their individual needs? Could he have recognized earlier that everything that Sean said about there being a major problem wasn't just an exaggeration to try to keep his job, but rather a very real, significant issue that could not be reflected in KPIs, but that would lead the company to disaster if not handled? Absolutely, he could have done those things. But Sean could have done things better too. He could have listened. He could have focused on what the company needed from him, rather than what the individuals needed from him. He could have focused on the needs of the many over the needs of the few. At the end of the day, these two people who have different, conflicting personalities could have come together, had a discussion, recognized what drove them, and brought the company greater success. Instead, one, namely Tyler, used his knowledge and his power to remove what he felt was an impediment. You never know when what seems like a common company turnover, a person retiring, could actually lead to disaster. And you never know when it turns out that both sides of the story may actually be valid. Is that fine?